Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Amirul Hakim and my partner is Hafiz Othman. Good day to you guys, my friend and also Madam Fauzia. Okay, for today, my part is I'm going to brief you guys about Azure model and how to apply Azure model in web designing. Okay, and Hafiz Osman is going to cover his chapter. Okay, this is the first set. Okay, let's go, shall we? Okay, Azure model. What is Azure model? Okay. Azure is an instructional design model that has the goal of producing more effective teaching and learning. Teaching and learning. Okay, how can a model for the effectiveness of teaching and learning could be applied in web designing? Okay, using Azure model, I assure you guys that you guys will probably going to create your web designing using this Azure model. Okay, Assure is an acronym that stands for various steps in the model. The following is the breakdown of each step, and the citation is taken from Frost 2015. Okay, as you can see here, ASSURE. Okay, for A, analyze learner characteristic. S, state objectives. S, select, modify, or design materials. U, utilize materials. R, require learner response. And the last one, E, evaluation. And this model and these images are taken from Wong 2011. Okay, we are going to start with A, analyze learner. Okay, how can we analyze learner using Azure model? Okay, as you can see here, focus on the learner's characteristic which associated with the learning outcome. Okay, the first step in the process is that the teacher, as I told you guys earlier, this is in about teaching and learning in school, the model. And after this, I will be giving how Azure model can be applied in web designing. Okay, the first step in the process is that the teacher should analyze the attributes of her learners. There should be a focus on those learners' characteristics which are associated with the learning outcome desired. The information gathered will help you in the decisions that you make with respect to the other steps, the other 5 steps in the process. When you determine the character of the learners, it will guide you in choosing specific strategies and resources to aid the learning process. Okay, the analysis. I will give you 3 examples of the analysis that about your learners. Okay, the first one, the general attributes of your learners, such as their age, their academic abilities, their genders, their interests, and etc. The second one is their prior competencies or their weakness. And the third one is their learning styles, which are probably using auditory, visual, or perhaps tactile. Okay, we're moving on to the next one, S, state objective. State objectives consist of a specification of what the learners will be able to do as a result of the instruction. After the analysis of the learner's attributes here, the teacher must state the standards and objective for the learning module. This statement consists of a specification of what the learners will be able to do as the result of the instruction. Okay, state objectives here is the most important and crucial part in the model. Why did I say so? Because the objectives can be used in assessing the success for the students. Perhaps for the grading process. Also, you can use them to let the learners know what they will accomplish throughout the class. Uh, the mark of a good set of learning objectives is conformity with the A, B, C, and D's of well-stated learning objective. what is A, B, C, and D? Let me tell you. A stands for audience. For whom is the objective intended to? B, behavior. What is the behavior or performance to be demonstrated? C, conditions. What are the conditions under which the behavior or performance will be observed? And the last one, D, degree. To what degree will the knowledge or skill be mastered? The objective statement should be formulated with the verb that pinpoints the learning objective. I can give you guys an example. For example, the Bloom's taxonomy. You guys can use identify or observe or by using Bloom taxonomies in the objective by stating the objectives using the verb in Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, moving on to the next S. S here stands for select instructional methods, media, and materials. It is necessary to pick instructional strategies, technology, and media that will bring about the result that we want. As you can see here, given what your learning objectives are, it is necessary to pick the strategies, media, and also the materials that will bring the result that you want. First, you should figure out which delivery method will be best for your instruction. Okay, for instance, what proportion of your instruction will be? Is it going to be instructor centered or is it going to be student centered? The first of these strategies, such as lecture, demonstration, or showing a video. The second strategies, such as group discussion or perhaps a cooperative group work. Okay, common sense weights on the side of learner-centered strategies. Learners become more excited when there is more class participation. Ultimately, it's the learner who must gain mastery over the material, not the teacher. However, there will be a certain amount of crucial information and technique that the teacher must give over and demonstrate. Learning at its best when the teacher merely leads the student into discovering the correct answer to a problem themselves. An effective teacher is merely just a facilitator to the process of learning. Okay, once you have selected your teaching strategy, then it's time for you to figure out which technology, media, and also the best supported materials that you are going to use. This ranges from simple tools such as using blackboard chalks or to more sophisticated one like PowerPoint slides and also using games. But be remember that the instructor is the essential ingredient in giving over the material. Fancy tools are useful, but it ultimately boils down to having someone who knows more than what the textbook contains. The next one is U. U stands for Utilize Media and Materials. Okay, this step in the actual process concerns about making a plan as how you will utilize the technology, media, and materials that you have selected. As with all of the instructional steps, you must make sure that your plans contribute towards producing the objective that you have laid down. And also, it is important to follow the 5 P's of process to achieve this. What is 5 P's? Here is it. 5 P's for the process. Prepare the technology, media, and materials. Prepare the learners. Preview the technology, media, and materials. Prepare the environment. And the last one, provide the learning experience. For preparing the technology, media, and materials, you need to gather all of the things that you will need to teach in your lesson. They must be working properly. For example, if you're making a PowerPoint presentation, then you need to create the text and graphics for each screen before you start the class. The next one, prepare the learners. First, you need to clearly inform the learners as to what the learning objectives are. This will help the learners create a mental map of what they need to absorb. Next, it's important to tell the students how they will be assessed if there is a test, and how will they grade it. And you should also explain to the students what benefits of the learning materials that you are using for. The next one is preview the technology, media, and materials. This means that it's important for you to plan ahead of time of just how you are going to use them. It's good to do a dry run of your lesson before you actually teach it. Make sure the whole lesson will go smooth and seamlessly without any disturbance. The next one is prepare the environment. There is some minimal preparation required to set up the learning environment. Simple things like if you're in a class, make sure the desk is enough for every student. And also, if you have control over the situation, you should make sure that there are no sources of noise that will disturb the students. And also, the last one, provide the learning experience. You then actually carry out the lesson, and that is where all of your plannings take effect. You should be prepared to carry out the lesson with every prior step of the process in mind. And this will ensure you successes as a teacher. The next step is R, require learner participation. Okay, this step actually belongs within the earlier steps, and it requires you to make plans of how you are going to actively engage with the students in the materials that you are teaching. This needs to be figured out both at the class level and also for the individual levels. The most basic step that you can take is requiring participation of the students in class discussions. A more sophisticated approach will require the students to prepare questions and comments at home and bring it inside the class. And you might also try to even allow individual students to lead classes or discussions in the style of seminar. Beyond this, you need to plan exactly how the students will participate in the learning process included in the lesson. And the plans needed to be more specific than just saying that they will listen and absorb the material. Maybe you can encourage a specific kind of note taking or also using other learning strategies. Okay, the last step in the Assure model is E, evaluate and revise. The final step in the Assure process is just as crucial as all of the others. And in this step, you need to evaluate the impact of your teaching and onto the student learning. And this includes an evaluation of your teaching strategies and the technology, media, and materials that you have used. And also, a few questions can be useful to ask during the evaluation, perhaps such as did the lesson meet the learning objective? Okay, done with Assure model in classroom. Now, how can we apply Assure model in web design? By using Assure, ASSURE. Okay, let's make an example here. We are going to create a website with the recent topics such as COVID-19. So we're going to create a medical website. Okay, first, A, analyze the target audience and client preferences to meet with the purpose of the web. Why did I create the web? For what? And for whom? To the doctors, to the nurse, and to the public about COVID-19. So I should jot down every preferences about medical structure of COVID-19 so that I can meet with the purpose of why did I create the website. Okay, for the next one is S. State the aim and purposes for the creation of the web clearly for the readers and client to gain information and knowledge they are intended to. Okay, let's say here we already say the aim and purposes of our website is to give information about COVID-19, to create awareness to the public, and how can we use S in Azure model correctly? As I told you before, by using the A, B, C, and Ds. Let me recap. The A, audience. For whom is the objective and aim intended to? To the public, as I told you before, to the public, to the doctor, to the nurses, to everyone. Okay, then the next one is B, behavior. What is the behavior or performance to be demonstrated? Uh, by having the website, can the user or the readers of the website make a tantrum or leaving a bad comment? Okay, so that's the behavior. Okay, C, conditions. What are the conditions under which the behavior or performance will be observed? Okay, that's why for C here, we can see directly through the Ministry of Health of Malaysia for the statistic and so on. And the last one is D, degree. To what degree will the knowledge or skill be mastered? Okay, for D here, degree, the medical jargon cannot be too sophisticated because we can just assume that there are readers that didn't know many medical jargon. So perhaps we can do both, which have the the one side here, the one who studied medical, and side here, the one who doesn't know any medical jargon, so that we cannot be biased. And the next one here is S. Select the perfect and suitable media to meet the objective and purpose by planning ahead for preparation. Okay, for medical design, when medical website. Okay, what can you put in medical website? You cannot actually put stuff like silly things like jokes or memes, because medical website is a serious thing and it's also involved COVID-19. So that's why we need a suitable media. Let's say we can put the images of people wearing masks, or for the current situation where they get fined, or perhaps several videos about the police uh, fining people because they're neglecting the rules of the MCO. Okay, we need to have a suitable media to meet the objective and purpose. By what? By planning ahead. We need to plan ahead. What kind of media we want to use for our website? Okay, the next one. You utilize the media beforehand to ensure the smoothness and the efficiency of the web. Okay, we talked about this earlier. By having images or voice narration or voice soundtrack, videos, and all of those medias, we need to make sure that those medias are working well before we put it in the website. Okay, as example, we are dealing with technical stuff here, so we don't know if we be able to see the images, but perhaps for those audience and also readers out there that surf through our website, probably they cannot see the medias because of bug. As I said before, we are dealing with the technical stuff here. So that's why it is very important to utilize the media beforehand. Test first before we publish it to the public to ensure the smoothness and the efficiency of the web. Okay, the next one is R. What is R? Requiring the client and also the reader's participation are essential for them to be active by cooperate questions, discussion, or comment sections in the web. How can we know that the audience or also the clients could really actually understand the points of us creating the website? That's why in most websites that I have found, basically in the end of every article, there is actually a comment section down below and also a discussion sections in the web. So it's actually pretty helpful when having those sections, because by having those sections, people can actually interact with us, the creator of the website, to gain feedback. As I told you before, in this medical website, so probably when people or audience are looking at our articles or videos or photos, they could be clueless, and because of the medical jargons perhaps, and that's why it is very important to have their participation by having questions discussion, and also comment sections in the website. Okay, for the last one, E. In web design is also the same as in the classroom. E. Evaluate the effectiveness of the web by making sure the objective and purposes can be apprehended by client or readers. As I told you guys before, why are we making this website? To create awareness about COVID-19, to give informations, and by having those purposes and also objective, the last part, we need to evaluate, is our website effective? Does the reader actually understand? But what are we trying to tell them? By following the assure model, one can meet the client's requirement and also for the reader's behalf. For evaluating section, these are the common questions when evaluating. The first one, did the creation of the web justify what have been planned? How will we determine whether the readers and clients reach the objective? Is the way of accessing the clients and readers suits with the objectives? Can the content be improvised? How? How are we going to assess the weakness in the web? Was the choice of media and materials a good one? How will we assess the effectiveness of this tool? It is possible that other technologies, media, and materials will have done a better job. This is the frequent questions that you need to ask when you already create the website by asking feedbacks from the readers and also from your peers. Okay, and I think that's it for me for a show model, and I hope that you guys understand how to apply a show model in web designing. Okay, after this is Hafiz. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good evening to you, madam, and of course, my lovely friends. And tonight, as of I am recording this, uh, my name is Mohammad bin Othman, and I'm going to present to you about visual hierarchy and visual direction. Okay, so these are two closely related concepts, but they are different. Okay, so let's go through. Okay, visual hierarchy. It is generally a method. It is about arranging elements in web design, and it is used to show what is important, and it doesn't really tell what is important. How can I say this? Like, you only use elements to show the viewers, the users, about what is important, and but you don't really have to tell people, like openly tell them what is important. Okay, we will go through some examples after this, and just to let you know, this is a this visual hierarchy, this method is a part of the Gestalt principle. We'll go through one of the key points that Gestalt has put in later on, and next I'm going to show you uh, several examples of this visual hierarchy. So here we have Twitch and Apple. Now, before I continue, I want you to look at Twitch and Apple. I want you to see why I chose these two programs as the example for visual hierarchy. Now, visual hierarchy, we gotta remember the main idea is that to show users what is important without telling them what is important. Okay, so for Twitch, if you look at the screen, uh, you can see it has the main menu on the user interface. On the top of the screen, it has uh, the live shows that are going on at the moment. But of course, this is a screenshot. So, but in the website, if you go to Twitch right now and see the main website, it shows that the live users that are live right now playing video games or chatting and whatnot, and the videos are playing at the same time while you are in the website. So at that moment, that will be the first tier. I would say the first tier in the visual hierarchy. Why? Because the developers at Twitch, they want you to see what is Twitch all about, and Twitch is a a web browser or an application that is used by video game players, or but it's mostly used by video game players to to live stream their video games while they play, and then you have they have the chat system and whatnot. So these players are essentially just basically playing video games with a live audience, and so with that live uh, with them having a live centerpiece in the front page, and having their accounts show being played live and whatnot. That's showing you what Twitch is. Okay, and if you go down, you even have down here live channels we think you like. They will Twitch is essentially showing you live channels that are going on right now, but it's not played. Even in the website, in the web browser, it's not played at the moment. But if you go down even more, there's like categories of video games that are being played. So essentially, what Twitch doesn't need to like openly tell you, oh, Twitch is like put it in words like Twitch is a website used by video game players to show live streaming. No, it just open up the website and it shows you the videos. That's the most important part. It shows you what the website is without it even telling you what it is. That's the point of visual hierarchy. Um, First of all, apologies due to the limitations of the application. We have to cut and continue from there. So to continue for the example, we have Apple, the Apple website. Now, this is another great example of visual hierarchy because Apple is very, very sort of say minimalistic when it comes to designing. So you look at the website. What does it say? The iPhone 12 Pro. You have a picture of the iPhone. The iPhone 12 Pro is the biggest font in there. Then you have the picture of the phone, and then what else do you have? You have the view pricing, learn more, the tagline, it's a leap year. I honestly have no idea what that means. And then up here you have the Mac, iPad, iPhone, watch, TV, music, and support. You have all of the basic necessities up there. But the main point of the visual hierarchy is that you are putting very, very uh, the important thing. That's it. You go into the iPhone website, and what do you see? You see the iPhone 12. That's it. All right, that's it. I want to go. I want to go and get the iPhone 12. That's it. Okay. So now, why the two differences that I want to show here is that you look at Twitch and you look at Apple. What are the two differences? You look at Twitch, you see like it's very cluttered. Like you see there's a lot of things going on, recommended channels, live channels that you will like, and even up there, the first thing that you will see are the channels that are going live and are playing, right? Well, you look at Apple, they only have the picture of the iPhone 12 and just view pricing, iPhone 12 Pro. That's it. But what are the two differences? What are the differences, but what are the similarities? The differences is that one is very minimalistic in design, in the concept, and one is a bit cluttered, but both show the most important things of their products, basically, of what they offer. Twitch provides a live streaming service for the game players and the viewers, while Apple they're just showing the phones they're selling. They're just showing the products that they're selling. End of story. All right. And because Apple is a well-known company, everybody knows what Apple is. So here's the idea of visual hierarchy is that you would have a first tier, second tier, and a third tier. Now, why the pyramid is upside down is because you want to know what is like the main importance. The first tier has to be the most important thing. And look at Twitch and Apple. What are the main focuses of the websites? Apple would be the phones and the products, while while Twitch would be the live streamings and whatnot, so all of that. And one thing to remember is that when you're thinking of visual hierarchy, is less is more. Having too much information on a page makes it look cluttered and unorganized. And sometimes you would think like maybe it's better to go a bit minimalistic. Like you don't have to go so have so many things in there. is unnecessary. Okay, and when you do that, you in a way you are telling about the viewers about more more of what you have to offer by having limited things on their webpage. All right, so uh, here's other points that I was talking about. The points about the size, the color, the alignment, the contrast, the proximity, white space, texture and style, and also repetition. Now, size indicate like the iPhone, like Apple, you have big uh, a big iPhone picture of an iPhone. You're showing the iPhone, and the color of the page is very minimalistic. You know, it's just black and white. You have a bit of blue in there. Okay, alignment what stands out over the rest? For example, the Twitch page. You see the main live streams that are going on, and the live streams they play when you are on the website. Okay, the videos play. Contrast, uh, the most eye-catching colors, I would say. Right. So you have to take those into account. Proximity, like the iPhone page, everything is very far apart. Okay, you have like up there you have the iPhone iWatch TV, and then down there you have the whole picture of the iPhone 12. Okay, white space, more space around elements draws eyes towards them. For example, actually both pages, you know, you have a lot of space in between everything. All right. Sorry. To continue, texture and style. Richer textures stand out over flat lines when you look at the Twitch channel, for example. You look at all of the different channels that are going on, right? And you see like this. So, for example, the iPhone, it stands out a lot. The picture of the iPhone 12 really stands out. And lastly, repetition. Repetition, basically repeating styles can suggest content is related. And this goes for both web pages, because the Twitch channel, you know, you have the categories of video games, you have the live channels that you may like, you know, so it all connects to each other. Moving on. Okay, visual direction. Visual direction. We're gonna play a quick game. All right. So I would want you we're gonna play a quick game. I want you to look at the bottom right corner, and now look at the bottom left corner, and now look at the top right corner. Okay, it's just a quick game. All right, you have been blessed. You have been blessed by my daughter, Elsa. Just a quick game. Just play with you all. So, what is visual direction basically? It is controlling the users, like this is a web page, controlling the eye movement of the users through what? Either the font type, either images, text forms, everything basically that you put in your web page. That is what is going to control the eye movement. So we're gonna look at four different elements: controlling using images, leading the eye, forms, and design direction. Design direction is the most important. Okay, so first of all, controlling using images. So it is basically it is what it is. Directional images can either be used as part of your design or in the content to guide visitors around your page. For example, we look at the arrows here, the airplane, the smoke. You know, it might point to something in the page, okay, that you can use when designing a website. Next is leading the eye. Okay, so this can relate back to controlling using images. So look at the two pictures here from BBC, okay, from this BBC website. So you have to make sure that everything in the website would lead the user's eyes to inside the page. Okay, say for example the one on the left here, the terrorist is looking outward. So users might just look at that picture and then look outside instead of inside. Whereas you look on the right, when you look at the picture of the terrorist, right, he's looking inside, inward. So immediately when you look at the picture, you'll be look Libya to halt military action, for example. Okay, So that is leading the eye using images. Now, forms. When you are creating text forms, you need to think about how it make it more everything a little bit more simple. All right. When you look at the easy one here, you're only looking at one direction and you're going down. That's all you're doing. You go from text box one, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're just going down. But when you look at the difficult one, you are moving your eyes a little bit too much. You're looking from the word text box, that's number one, to the actual box itself. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You are moving your eyes constantly. Whereas the text form on the left here, you are just going down. Okay. So lastly, design direction. Now this is the most important thing when it comes to web designing, because you need to know what you want to make of your web page. You need to know all of the materials that you want to use, the style of typography, the fonts, and of course the art flow, the layout, the colors. All of these things put together, it plays a very crucial role in making your web page. And I'll show you why in these two examples. Look, look at the visual. Think about the visual hierarchy and the visual direction of two examples here. Okay, so let's take a look at these two examples. Now, when you look at the pink text, what the heck is that? Okay, even I don't know. Okay, even I don't know what this example is. But from what I first read about this first example is that when I take a look at it, what do I see? The color, the white space, the pictures used. Okay, I can visualize. Okay, it must be something to do. For one, the target audience is female, women. Okay, the second, it might be about skincare. Okay, and then when you go down and read some more, it's about shaving products. Okay, so it shows, from initial reading, initial, you just look at it, you'll be like, by the color, the font type, the layout, the pictures used, you can already guess what the page is about. That's the thing about visual hierarchy. That's the importance. Okay, and then when people just skim through the website, they already know what you are providing. That's the important thing. That's the importance of visual hierarchy. Okay, so next we look at Nexus theme. Okay, this okay. Now, looking at Nexus theme. Uh, First of all, it looks boring. Honestly, if you go into a website like this, you'll be like, what do I want to do here? Like whenever you go into a website of when you're looking for articles, you're on ResearchGate, you're on those sort of websites, you'll be like, okay, where do I find the things that I need? The overall layout, the design of the page is a bit cluttered. There is no visual hierarchy. The visual direction, like where do I go from here? Where do I find the things that I need? You just open up the page and there it is. Contact us. For what? I don't know what you guys provide. Okay, and down here, sample article, first blog, second blog. Obviously, this is just a template or a layout, but the thing that I want to show you guys here is that this is a pretty bad example of a website because it's very cluttered. Even if you look at the visual hierarchy, I expect the first tier is a picture with fonts. Second tier, still you still don't know what it is, and when you go down the third tier, there's a lot of wording. You still don't know what's going on in that page. Okay, so you have to take into consideration. You have to take all of these things into consideration when designing your page. Okay, and that is about it from me and Sam. And I hope you guys learned something from us, and I hope you guys really so I hope you guys learned something from us, and I hope we helped you guys a lot with the Assure model, the visual hierarchy, and the visual direction. I hope we have helped you guys a lot when covering these three topics. So, and thank you. Thank you very much for listening.